Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. We know that every Yom Tif, when you study the laws of the Yom Tif, every Yom Tif has its famous question that the Mefarshim elaborate and discuss, and this is the question of the Yom Tif. Chanukah, we know, the Kushiyas HaBeis Yosef. Why is Chanukah 8 days when the miracle seems to be only for 7 days? There are certain questions that are highlights of every Yom Tif. By Succos, perhaps the most famous question is, and we know that we celebrate Succos because when the Yidden were in Mitzrayim, in the desert, when the Yidden were in the desert, we either were protected by the Anane cover, glory, the clouds of glory, or real Succos, and to commemorate that, we sit in the Sukkah. And the question that the Torah brings, and the very famous question is, in Siman Tov Reish Chaf Hei, if we're commemorating when we left Mitzrayim that we were in the Midbar and Hashem protected us with Sukkos, or we made our own Sukkah, then we should be celebrating Sukkos right after Pesach. Because Pesach we left Mitzrayim, and that's right then and there we went into the Midbar, and that's when we started having the Sukkos. Why wait 6 months later to Sukkos time? This is the famous question of the holiday of Sukkos. And the Torah gives his famous answer. He says, Af al pi, even though we all know that we left Mitzrayim in Nisan, Hashem did not command us to make Sukkah in that time. Because that's the summer months. And everybody sits outside. And everybody builds himself a nice hut in the garden. So if you would see a family sitting outside on the porch, in a hut eating, that you wouldn't think it's a mitzvah. You think it's a picnic. That's what people do in the summertime. Hashem says, no, I want people to know that it's a mitzvah. Therefore, He commanded us to do it in the 7th month, the month of Tishrei. It's the month of Tishrei, that season, Zman HaGeshamim. It's already starting to rain. And people usually leave the house and leave the outside and make sure to buckle up and start getting ready for the winter. No, we Jews have a commandment then to go out because that's to commemorate the Sukkos, to show the mitzvah. That's the famous answer. So I'm going to quote today a few other answers that are not so famous, and you'll see a beautiful pshetlach. The Even Ezra and the Ramban in Parshas Vayikra, Perek Chavav Pasuk Mem Gimel, they say that according to as I mentioned before, we commemorate the Sukkah either because the Anane HaKaved, or because of the huts, the real huts that the Yidden built as they were traveling. Now, when the Yidden were traveling, says the Even Ezra and the Ramban, during the summer months, during that time after Pesach, they didn't really have to build a Sukkah because it's nice outside. They didn't have to have insulation. Only when it started getting cold, they had to build the Sukkah. So really, we are commemorating the Sukkahs that we build and the season when it took place. In the summer, you didn't need it. However, since lahalacha we don't paskin like that shita. Since lahalacha we paskin that we commemorate not the Sukkah that was built. We commemorate the Sukkah, the Anane HaKaved, and the Anane HaKaved actually started right from the beginning, even the summer season. So if so, the question is back on. There's another answer that the Vilna Gaon brings. The Vilna Gaon brings in Shir Hashirim, Perek Dalet Pasuk Tazvav. He says, listen, the Yidden had the Anane HaKaved right when they went into the Midbar. True. But eventually, due to a sin that they did, those Anane HaKaved left us. The Yidden Rachmana Litzlan sinned on the Maisa Egel, and Anane HaKaved. Now Hashem says you're on your own. You're not going to have my protection. When did they get back the Anane HaKaved as a protection? When the Yidden did tshuva. When did the Yidden do tshuva? Is when the second time and all that, and Yom Kippur came along, and Hashem said, Salachti Kedvarecha. That's when the final tshuva happened, and Hashem says, fine, you have my protection again. Says the Vilna Gaon, after the Hashem said, Salachti Kedvarecha. And Yom Kippur is when the Tzivoy HaMishkan, Machar Yom Kippurim, the day after Yom Kippur, they gathered Klal Yisrael and they started talking and dealing with about the building of the Mishkan. And we have to make a fundraiser, a collection, and they started collecting all the things for the Mishkan. Only then, they started getting back the Ananei HaKavod. Even since La Halacha, we are commemorating the Ananei HaKavod. We don't want to commemorate the first time it came to us, because the first time Nebuch we pushed away. We commemorated Dafka in the time that was there for good. That's third reason. A fourth reason, it's brought in the Menorah Samor, that specifically we do it, the mitzvah, the Zman Kiyuma Shel Mitzvah Sukkah, is only after you collect all the grain, you're bringing everything in. Specifically in that season, Kisha'abatim Maleim Kol Tuv, when your house has everything. A person usually in that season is also celebrating in his house. He's happy, he has everything he needs, he's ready. We say, no. Even it's Chag HaSukkah, it's Chag HaAsif, when you have everything, go outside. Specifically then, we want you to know to go outside. And those are the beautiful, different lessons you can learn from each reason, what the depth of the mitzvah of Sukkah is all about.